The new Trump indictment is an opportunity for the Trump campaign to put the 2020 election on trial. So this is what you can do in a case. And in fact, it gives you an opportunity to do something that Trump has not really had an opportunity to do. Let's think about it. Has the 2020 trial been litigated in any court? No. The left likes to say, well, there were multiple cases that were dismissed. Those were all dismissed on procedural grounds. Oh, the state of Texas doesn't have standing to make a challenge. That was the Supreme Court. There were cases in Pennsylvania, in Arizona, in Michigan, and elsewhere where, oh, you filed this claim. You should have filed this claim before the election if you thought that there were election improprieties or that the structure was biased against Trump. Or when you do file it before, oh, you filed it too early, the election hasn't even happened. How can you allege that bad things are going to happen when they haven't happened yet? So this is a case where the unwillingness of judges to face the merits of the issue. Well, now Trump not only has a chance to put the election on trial, but to subpoena witnesses. He has subpoena power, which he otherwise wouldn't have. And this is a whole new tool that the Trump lawyers not only can use, but there was a Trump lawyer who was on TV saying that they are going to use it. They're going to do this. So this is all in some ways very encouraging. And it's the right way to fight back. The right way to fight back is not to concede anything, not to concede, oh, yeah, well, I guess the election wasn't. No, it is to fight on the very premise that is set forward in this indictment. Let's go through the indictment. Count one. We're talking now about the conspiracy to defraud the United States, and it lists six co-conspirators. None of them are named. It just says this was an attorney, this was a Justice Department official, this was a political consultant who helped implement a plan. And in the first part of the indictment, they're talking about fraudulent electors. Fraudulent electors. They keep calling them fraudulent or fake electors, but really a neutral term for them is alternate electors. In other words, let's look at it. You take a state like Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, and the Trump campaign believes, and Trump believes, that he won Georgia, he won Arizona, he won Michigan. So, nevertheless, the state of Michigan is pulling together, generally with the Democratic establishment, a group of electors. So Trump goes, well, listen, I'm challenging the results in that state. I've got ongoing lawsuits to do that. And if that challenge is upheld, then there's going to be a different group of electors. Well, what about if we line that up in advance? In other words, what if we line up these alternate electors? And in fact, the indictment concedes, it puts it this way. Some fraudulent electors, well, I don't think they were fraudulent electors, they were just alternate electors, were tricked into participating based on the understanding that their votes would be used only if the defendant succeeded in outcome determinative lawsuits within their state. Okay, this means that the Trump people said to the electors, hey, listen, don't worry, we're going to have you perform the function of an elector, and your vote will be counted if our lawsuits in this state are successful. If we win the state, we are going to need electors of our own. You will play the role of those electors. So it's hard for me to see, despite the prejudicial and kind of loaded language, unless you're just willing on face value to go along with it. Well, yeah, the whole thing was a trick. It was a fraud. It was a scheme. Well, it's not a scheme. It's an effort here to, in a disputed election, try to create the alternative electoral slate that you would use if you prevailed. Let's continue. The defendant and co-conspirators attempted to use the power and authority of the Justice Department to conduct sham election crime investigations. Well, if, let's just say, Trump goes to Bill Barr and says, I need you to investigate fraud in all these states. Where is the abuse of power? Trump is the president. He's going to someone who's in the executive branch, who is the person who is charged with doing this. It's the function of the Justice Department to investigate claims of election fraud. Trump is making a claim of election fraud. He's not telling them what the results of their investigation should be. But nevertheless, this is presented as Trump conducting sham election investigations, as if no election investigations were really warranted. The defendant and his co-conspirators attempted to enlist the vice president to use his ceremonial role at the January 6 certification, proceeding to fraudulently alter the election results. This is something I'll have to pick up in the next segment, but let me just say here, it is an open question whether the vice president has a merely ceremonial role. All you have to do is read the Constitution, and the Constitution, the language of it, doesn't say, it doesn't use the word ceremonial. It doesn't say that the vice president is a rubber stamp. It doesn't say that the vice president's sole role is, quote, custodial. None of that. The actual words of the Constitution, which is open, I admit, to multiple readings, say that the vice president is doing something more than merely sort of taking this list of electors and passing it along to the next guy, kind of like if someone is passing a food tray. Oh yeah, thank you very much, I pass it along. That is not the vice president's role, and yet it's assumed here that it is. It's assumed here that he had no other role. It's MyPillow's 20th year anniversary. They've sold over 80 million MyPillows, and Mike Lindell at MyPillow wants to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on his MyPillows. Now, you can get a queen-size MyPillow for $19.98, regular price $69.98, and just $10 more for a king size. You get deep discounts on all the MyPillow products. They're all on sale. The MyPillow bed sheets, the mattress toppers, the robes, the pet beds, the mattresses, the My Slippers, and so much more. This is a time to surf the website, look at all the amazing products, and try out some of the ones you've had your eye on. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code Dinesh to receive this amazing offer on the queen size MyPillow for $19.98, or you can call 800-876-0227. The offer comes with a 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee, so it's time to start getting the quality sleep you deserve. Call 800-876-0227 or go to mypillow.com to get the discounts. You need to use the promo code DINESH Dinesh.